Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark Typhoon.
Tweet fast. Get back to the stream. So glad that cancel button on the mulligan is available. It's got 7 on the play over there, leading on to Verdant Catacombs. Against Yawgmoth? Liliana's pretty bad against Yawgmoth. Being on the draw is pretty bad against Yawg. Got a lot of sideboard cards though. I got a sideboard plan. Did I see Dax Quintoris can deck? I think I saw it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I was experimenting a little bit with Geological Appraiser in Modern, and yes, Leyline Scion makes that plan better, but the plan is also not good. So I'm not super amped about it, I guess. In my opinion. It is just so slow and so clunky. Like what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Don't think there's really anything that they can like graveyard that really punishes me for just waiting a second on this Edict. What percentage of the decks are fields good against? It's kind of like all of them. I don't know. It's they're not great against Yawg, but they get there against Yawg sometimes, and they're not very good against Scam. I don't think I think there's like no matchup that they're like actively bad in, I would probably say. I really want to get this Dauthi Voidwalker down this turn to play around. Especially with Citadel too, it's just like kind of 1 mana to activate, so you just kind of get in there. They already have 1 basic. Well, Yawg usually plays like 3 or 4. So they play Bowmasters, then Cauldron. Onto the Bowmasters, it's not super ideal. Court for 0. Endurance, okay. Gay Lincoln, thank you for the 15 months. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate ya. Watching live in case the VOD is messed up again. Yeah, I think it was just like a weird glitch due to the stream like crashing in the middle of the middle. Kind of a bummer because I don't think we're gonna get that Heliod League up on YouTube now. So they're casting a Yawgmoth. Oh, they're casting a Sheoldred. Okay. Can work with this. They missed their land drop, so either they're going to give me a Sheoldred or they're going to lose their endurance. I guess, do I want to Thoughtseize now, or do I want to not dead after all my Voidwalker and get an endurance into play? They can't really have Grist in their hand. They would have played it last turn. Their hand is 3 spells. Second endurance, Hapatra, Delighted Halfling. Oh, they can Cauldron. Okay, alright, well. Glad I didn't do that then, huh? Thoughtseize is so tough when your opponents have all bad cards in their hand, I guess. I'll take the endurance. Get in for 3. Will they attack my Liliana? They probably should. Yeah. Would love to kill this and Voidwalker it. They have a Patra, Delighted Halfling, Mystery card. They do get to double spell, but also me just like casting Endurance blocks the Hapatra pretty good, although it kind of unlocks their Cauldron a little bit more. I'm going to cast the Ring and draw a card. If I draw a push, I'll push the Sheoldred after sacking the Voidwalker probably. Draw Grief. The last card is a spell. I think I'm just going to Grief them. This does let them put a counter on something, I suppose. So I can cast this Grist. But I don't want to do it this turn because I just don't have a creature to kill the Sheoldred, so Maybe I'll draw a creature next turn. I know I'm going to be taking a bunch of damage off the Sheoldred, but not like I have really another play. They decided not to use the Cauldron end of turn. Maybe missed it, the grief. Okay, what are we doing? Why attack with just this? Like, you know there's pro everything. You're not attacking with this Sheoldred. Just for fun. Okay, can get behind some fun. So, first draws a brick. Whatever, I'm gonna... So I could, not dead after all, my Dauthi Voidwalker to have something to sack to Grist. The problem is... they have the Cauldron still. So we'll see what we draw off this. And go to 3 in the process. Although, I guess they might Cauldron this. Okay, perfect. So now we don't lose that extra life, which is something relevant, and then we get to go not dead after all our Dauthi Voidwalker. Sack our Dauthi Voidwalker for Grist, kill the Sheoldred. I'm gonna play my land first, so I just have Cling to Dust up. So Sheoldred down. I guess I need to Cling to Dust now also, because I need to gain life. Suppose I target their Sheoldred. If I get rid of my creatures because of their Cauldron. Alright, I think we're finding a way to stay alive here. It's gonna be kind of tough to, like, not die to my ring, maybe, but... figured it out. They ignore the Grist, which is an interesting play. With the Cauldron in play. Grist, Cauldron now, we die to Cauldron Grist. I mean, I don't know what you want me to do. First, let's draw Sheoldred the Apocalypse off the fucking top of our library! And then we draw 2 Reasonables. Somewhat good chance they don't have another basic. They probably have a 3rd forest. Oh yeah, maybe not anymore because of the mortuary. Yeah, I mean, I definitely understand them being kind of zeroed in on my life total, but I cannot believe we top deck Sheoldred. This is a crazy game to win. I cannot remember the last time I was like this far behind and this pivot crazy comeback. Need Shizo. No, we need more Swamps Bolt in our Castle Locthwain deck. Shizo's also probably at an all-time low with all the ley lines going around. Okay, so we're gonna bring in the Hearse, the Damnations, the Toadies, the Needle. I'm cutting 3 Lilianas and 2 Sheoldred's Edicts. Sometimes I kind of think I want the second Sheoldred's Edict because of Grist. I guess I could cut the Cling since it's so bad against Cauldron. Could play Ashiok on the play. Pushing Halfling doesn't do anything with Cauldron in play. I mean, it forces the Cauldron activation. What did you? I think I just am supposed to cast the push. What did you want me to use the push on? Save the push for a Yawg and like field in the upkeep. Maybe that's better, but then they get to Cauldron the Yawg. Push the Patra. Yeah, I guess. Then the top deck Yawg is a lot worse. Very nice to win game 1 too, because we just have like, you know, pretty good sideboard plan, I think. Opponent's taking their time sideboarding. Still undefeated on the day. That Tron match was wild. Also, that Tron match was so tough. Is the 4th Not Dead After All better than the 1st Undying Evil? I think it is. Just like the damage is pretty nice, but there are certainly pros and cons here. Okay, we'll keep this. Why is Cling bad versus Cauldron? Because exile is part of the cost. They just Cauldron target whatever you exile with Cling, is the problem. Do fix their mana a little bit here. So my Voidwalker kind of turns off the Cauldron. I actually have to take the Hapatra, I think. Well, I guess, yeah, Hapatra is just actually very good against my Voidwalker here. So, I mean, I don't love having to take this line. Very good hand over there. Yeah, definitely don't take Grist. Definitely don't take Grist. I think it has to be the Patra. Shocking Overgrown Tomb with Urborg in play. I guess we're a Field of Ruin deck, so that's okay. So they do have to have drawn another land in order to cast Grist this turn. It's not Dryad Arbor. They draw their own Urborg. Likely gonna minus. Oh, they plus. And they mill another Grist, Keck W. Although now I have my own Grist, and I also found a Yawgmoth. Which neither are really doing anything here, I suppose. So let me attack this Grist for 3. Their hand is Dryad Arbor, mystery card at the moment. T-Master with the 14 months. Thank you, welcome back. Why does that Grist not have a void counter? It does. So thankfully both Grist are exiled. Unfortunately, they play Verdant Catacombs instead of their Dryad Arbor. I think I'm going to field Sunken Citadel Cursed Totems. Cursed Totem obviously just turns off so many of their top decks. Could just slam the Ring also, and then Damnation next turn. But I think I kind of like the play pattern of like Totem into Ring into Damnation, so it's just kind of tough for them to really not play super hard into Damnation. T-Master, 14 months. Thank you, welcome back. So they don't attack with this because they think they can cast Grist. Opponent's been punting a little bit. Pubmaster with the gifted sub to playing for Platinum. Thank you so much. Upkeep tap the Ring, probably. I think they're just going to throw their Insect token away here and learn the hard way. That it says, this is choose an exile card an opponent owns with a void counter. Or maybe they've learned their lesson. Read it a little late. So take a ping down to 8. Then maybe bait Bowmaster with this Ring tap. No Bowmasters to be baited. Cast a Damnation. Oh, there's also Cursed Totem in play, so they couldn't do that if they wanted to. My opponent is courting for, I guess, just courting for Grist in response. Court for Rexage. Sure. Yeah, Court for Blood Artist would have actually been pretty bad. I could have pushed the Blood Artist, though. Okay, Yawgmoth with the Cauldron in play is kind of scary. I'm down to 6. Not the highest life total. Sheoldred should help some. Okay, I can get Revolt by evoking Grief or sacking Voidwalker or using Field of Ruin. All seem pretty reasonable. I think what I'll do is probably go cast Sheoldred. Guess I should cast this other Voidwalker first. Cast other Voidwalker. Okay, I was gonna go cast their Yawgmoth and then evoke Grief, sack the Grief to target the Yawg. Maybe evoke Grief again, sack again, so to gain basically 2 life into Fatal Push, but they just concede. Okay, 6-0 on the day, feeling good. Broke it. Pretty not good. I'm gonna keep. We'll mulligan on the draw. Why no coffers? I've been kind of anti-coffers for a while. Obviously, you can play... The coffers is a pretty high variance card where you make a ton of mana with it and you win because of that, and you also like lose a lot of games because you draw multiple Urborgs or you draw coffers and doesn't tap for any mana. Additionally, like the biggest thing that it seems like we never talk about when we talk about the whole coffers versus no coffers thing, third Sheoldred decks, is that you get to play a sideboard. You get to have a real sideboard when you don't play Karn the Great Creator in your deck, which is super important for a deck that's playing so much spot removal. Like I think one big problem with the coffers deck in general is just you don't have a sideboard, brother. You also get to play 8 fields like pretty comfortably in this build. In the coffers deck, the 8 fields can feel a little bit awkward. If you can draw like land here, I'm feeling okay. I'll cast my Edict, but we're gonna get scammed probably. But you can play the coffers build, you know, it's fine. Yeah, if we go runner lands and get to go Sheoldred into Sheoldred with Not Dead after all up, that's probably good enough. Guess can't be a Sunken Citadel. We should mulligan. This is pretty borderline. They don't have an answer to Sheoldred at least. I guess Bolt kinda. Okay. Thoughtseize my full house. So gotta draw a land to have a chance. Okay. Yeah, we played against Domain Zoo right after the Goryo's one. Played against them a lot yesterday too. I'm gonna bring in my hearse. The edicts are like okay. I think I'm gonna probably maybe with 4 Lilianas we don't want to be playing any Sheoldred's edicts. Liliana's pretty good in this matchup except against Bowmasters. The Damnations are also probably fine, but maybe like the curve just gets to be too high. Maybe we're doing something like just bring in the 3 Graveyard Hate spells, cut the 3 edicts. I like you could kind of like a Thoughtseize. I think maybe 1 Damnation for 1 Thoughtseize is fine. I don't think I want to play 2 Damnation. Could play 2. The Damnation's actually probably just pretty good. So something like this. Yeah, Damnation's just good against Scam. Let's bring him in. Last time we saw Mill. We've seen it like once or twice this week. I'm still having my warding off Mill Emrakul in my decks for the moment, but I've thought about trying to build a Coffers deck with no Karn. Yeah, it's kind of tough. But you maybe could. I think that is like Coffer's biggest problem is that they don't get to play a sideboard and they have like 12 cards in their main deck that are like actively bad against a lot of strategies. Right. Not a matchup you want to get into aggressively. Hope we don't get scammed. Can go field into Thoughtseize here. Yeah, you could splash a color in Coffers, that's true, but I don't know. Coffers has very high upside, very low downside, and Especially when like you're just curving out at 4 in this kind of deck. You like this deck is not one that really wants that extra mana so much. Also, Castle Locthwain kind of rules in this deck. You don't have to play like Night's Whisper or anything. Like you just have like that also with Sunken Citadel as your like inevitability for card advantage. Why is Mill so popular in paper? It's like a Tron effect where people own the deck. It's just like a deck people like to play to some extent, I think. I'm gonna do this before they can really use the extra mana. Yeah, I kind of think the biggest part of it is people enjoy playing Mill and they it's like fun and different and quirky. Plus, I'll discard the Urborg, I think, so they can't just sandbag fetches. Discarded Delta. Do they have the Bowmasters? Probably do. They don't. Great. Tap Blood Crypts. Okay. Probably just double field them this turn. Yeah, I think double field still. They usually play like 3 basic swamps, no basic mountain. Sometimes like 4 swamps, sometimes the 3 swamps and mountain. Could draw step this, but they could sometimes like use the extra mana for like Takenuma. It gets like a little weird. Violent Muse within 7 months. Thank you, welcome back. Oh, 2 swamps. Maybe they have a basic in their hand. Maybe they have a basic in their hand. So I'm gonna wait to turn on the Liliana because I want to play my I want to make sure I can play this since it's just strip mine or wasteland. The list splashing for pick your poison only run 2 swamps. Awesome. Nice, great draw. Oh, they finally found a Bowmaster. Fable, Ragavan, Sheoldred. Pretty good hand. Chance the Boros Land Destruction deck you had a while ago is playable in the current meta. Seems really bad against Leyline, Scion, and Gorya's. Okay, we can draw something at some point, hopefully. Wouldn't that be nice? And his Ragavan mystery card. This card's Fatal Push keeps the Ragavan. Seems like that should have been an easy to call. Okay, nice. Liliana, discard 3 cards, gain 6 life. Take it. They discard the Ragavan. Alright, Bowmaster. I'm gonna activate still. Draw another land. So Liliana down, take 2 probably. Don't know either card in their hand anymore. Something at some point. I think I'll wait on my castle activation. I don't want them to like get to remove my Sheoldred and I don't get to gain the life. And then take more damage from a bigger orc army. So there's a land. Slamming Fable. Only 2 swamps left in my deck. Gain 1, take 1. I guess gain 2, take 2. Sorry. I have seen the Slogurk Legends deck in Standard. I don't think it would translate over to Modern very well. Okay, I'm at 16, going up to 18. Play Voidwalker, activate a castle. Stay at 18. Draw another castle. Put my opponent down to 13. Chooses not to use the card. What card are we looking for? Actions, any spell. I'll take any spell here. My opponents played their Blackleaf Cliffs and then they just went to combat. I'm gonna field them before they can play like another Fable or something. No opponent, you may not have any red mana this game. Deck seems awesome. You think 25 lands might be too many? Nope. We're 6-0 on the day. I'm feeling pretty good about the list. What if they have push? If they had push, they would have attacked. I don't think that they have push. If they have push, they'll flip Fable and cast it next turn. Acting like they got something. Okay, now we've got push insurance, I guess. What are we doing here? Do I attack with my Sheoldred? Nah. I'll take a give up if you want to give up. It's fine. Wouldn't be the first time today. Wouldn't be the first time today. Maybe draw and bait an attack from Orc Army. No, we're not gonna like proactively use this. Like they're just gonna lose to Sheoldred and they're like dying to draw any removal spell. It's like the only thing that can get them out of this. So let's just save they're not dead after all. They're gonna die super fast with the Voidwalker in play too. Kind of like attack with Sheoldred. No, I just think we just chill. Seeing the name of the next card drawn. All right. Yeah, opponent may be uninstalling and reinstalling Magic Online between every phase here. Nihil Spellbomb! So 1 damage at the Bowmasters at the Voidwalker here, so let's not activate this castle. Liliana. I'll Edict, I think. Kind of happy to get any of these. This turn might be tough since my opponent has to take a game action. Not today, opponent. Not today. Goodbye, goodbye, Orcish Bowmaster. We have a Dauthi Voidwalker in play. Alright, going to game 3. I also have Nihil Spellbomb in play, but I guess they're trying to trade for my Spellbomb, I guess. I'm gonna probably bring in some Edicts on the draw. Now Spellbombs are like a lot worse on the draw too. Maybe I don't want 0. Thoughtseize is also worse on the draw, so maybe I'll just have these on the like this. I want some Thoughtseizes though. I want 2. They also showed that they have Kroxa. Maybe Spellbomb is better than Hearse. Hearse is kind of worse in this build with less ways to crew it too. Let me play 1 Spellbomb. I also have Cling, I have the Voidwalkers. Could get the Voidwalkers for game 3. Probably too low on win cons at that point. But I might be on Moonplane. If they bring in Blood Moon, I'm okay. Yeah, apparently the VOD from yesterday had like a weird glitch. I'm assuming it's just a glitch. I'm hoping it's not anything more serious than that. But like the beginning of it sounded fine, and then the stream crashed for like 2 minutes, and then after that apparently there was no VOD. Okay, but it's on a Multi-5 on the play. So I don't know. I saw that was an issue like as I was like going live today. So I don't know. Didn't really have time to troubleshoot. I'm not going to play around Blood Moon here. Could evoke this Grief though, since a Fable is kind of a pain. I think because my opponent's on a multi 5, I'm down to just evoke the Grief here. So I'll take the Molten. I mean, yeah, I have Voidwalker to answer not dead after all, and Fatal Push for the Bowmaster. If you played against your own deck, would you mull a good hand if it had both basics? The entire stream for mysteries there's just 2 VODs. Yeah, but the second VOD doesn't have it has audio issues or something, right? I guess can anybody check the current VOD and see if there are any audio issues on it? That would be awesome. Oh, you're sorry. You're saying if you were playing Scam and you had 2 basics in your opening hand and you're playing against my deck, would you mulligan? It kind of depends on the hand, but I would strongly consider it. Yeah, I understand what you're asking. Yeah, unfortunately, we can still hear the streamer talking on the VOD. Thank you, Marv. Cast Sheoldred, your turn. Cast Voidwalker. I'll attack before pushing, I guess, to play around push. We know that their hand is Undying Effect plus Mystery card. Don't need to worry about an Undying Effect at the moment because we have our own Dauthi Voidwalker in play. I suppose I'm pushing Bowmaster now that I've drawn the One Ring. They check audio mixer to make sure the mic source is being recorded to the VOD. I sure hope it is. I mean, that might have been the problem. I've been changing like so many settings, and PT and Dingo were in here changing a bunch of settings too. Yeah, that might have been it. I don't know. I certainly didn't change it, and it's been working. But like, just Slob sometimes just randomly changes settings. It's so weird. If we push the Orc, we lose Sheoldred. Then they can cast our push 3-volt. That's true, but I don't know. The act maybe it doesn't matter. The life total's too low. They fetch Shocked Overgrown Tomb, concede. Okay, 7-0 on the day. Let's go, dude. Blind. Against a Savai Triome, so this doesn't help them get any domain. Although maybe it will after I field them, actually. Is Sunken Citadel so needed? I think so, Bolt. I think the card is good in the deck, yeah. We have 12 cards in the deck that it works with. It feels like a pretty good number. After Breeding Pool, they may have a harder time getting some blue mana here. Yeah, you can play 3 if you want to play 3. I think I would play 3 or 4. I would not play 2. So I was gonna play around Stubborn Denial, which they probably do have. Okay, yeah, I'll just play Edict or Sheoldred this turn. Like it's probably gonna die, but if they have Binding, I'd rather them binding this than a Ring. Probably. No, let's just like not turn what is very probably a Stubborn Denial into like a live card. Well, they have basic islands and no Giganta, so I guess this is like the Murktide Force of Negation build. Yeah, I did get new. I have two new pairs of glasses after having the old pair for way too long. Yeah, the Urborg has problems. There's been times in the past I haven't played it. I'm playing it now. It just, it is what it is. It's like, we're playing a bunch of fields and a Dauthi Voidwalker. You could play another swamp over it though. That is what you would play over it, I guess. You discard a ley line. Play another land though. Pretty flooded over there. We go down to a tiny 19 life points. There she is. Who's that girl? It's Liliana of the Vale. I guess this is just a 3/3. I'm gonna take the monkey. No, you just can't play Shizo, I think, in a deck with like this few swamps and 3 Castle Locthwains. Um we also like, I don't know, giving fear to Sheoldred is just like not that relevant of a thing to do. They only have basic Aeons on normal. Maybe that's what McWinsauce is doing. Certainly good to know. Can't remember the exact 75 from Sauce. They don't play their Murktide Regent, which is definitely wrong, I guess. Just 100% wrong. Like, you think that's staying in your hand? Not that they can like win this game, I guess. Liliana just too good. Okay, so this matchup, I'm like in the Damnations, out the Voidwalkers. And then I know I think I'm just gonna do 2 Tourach here. Tourach pro everything if they have Leyline. Doesn't get bindinged. I think it's just better than Voidwalker mostly. Could play Hearst. They're playing like they don't have that many Murktides in the deck. It's like 2 or 3. That's also not that good against this. They may They may just cut all the Murktides against the Liliana of the Veil deck. Yeah, we cited out Lilies against Gorios when we played against it earlier. We played against 2 graveyard combo decks that league actually. Let's mulligan our 7. Emrakul is for mill, as it always is. Keep this, put back Grief. I know it's a kind of risky one-lander, but we have a cantrip and we're on the draw. We have double push, which is like really nice to have. I would mulligan this on 7. I think just keep on 6. Hello? Did they think they were on the... Probably not used to being on the draw going into game 2. I want to scream play a Scion, but this list actually does play Force of Negation, so I'm not sure that I'm actually rooting for it. Certainly push. Updated State of Modern. Force Pitch Force. Did not draw land. If they loot, I get a counter on the Tourach here. I think I want them to counter the push. So I'm gonna push on their turn. Yeah, we can block for free. I'm gonna push now. I would like to draw land, but we'll see what happens. 3 cards over there. One of them's a Scalding Tarn. I hope I'm gonna name Cabal Coffers. Do it. Do it. Name Cabal Coffers. That card is not in my fucking deck, dude. Although I do have Oops All 4-drops over here. Leave this back for Ragavan, maybe? Seems like that could be a card in their hand. There's not that much that Ragavan really does. Like, there's not too many crazy cards to hit. Not sure if I should field them. I probably shouldn't. I just need to maximize my chance to draw a land right now. Trade for the counterspell. Oh. Okay. It is correct for them to cast this binding, so I don't get a counter on my Tourach. So that's actually real play here. Why didn't them discard that Moon Trigger Tourach? I mean, I killed the Kavu, so they couldn't discard. So they get the Triumphs here, I guess, because cycling it grows the Tourach. They draw another land, you know, classic Flood versus Screw, right? Although they did have a bunch of, like, just kind of blank cards here. We draw our 5th 4-drop before our 4th land. They're at 8, though. They draw another land. I draw my 6th 4-drop before my 4th land. I do have a lot of 4-drops post-board. Tourach, literally just 2 mana, 2/1, going the distance. It's also, like, not blockable by them. See if I can make them discard, like, a Force of Negation and 2-turn clock. Pick your poison. 2-turn clock. You have to draw a Lightning Bolt to survive. What a funny game. 8-0 on the day. All right, let's get a Grief Scam. Why is creativity suddenly back after being dead so long? I mean, like, this is one thing about Modern, is people don't always just play decks based on how well positioned they are. Like, creativity had one of the highest win rates at, like, all of the RCs, and then still just didn't see a lot of play for, like, 2 weeks. It's just like, and then it did well at the Hunter Burton, and so now people are starting to pick it up a little bit now that the metagame's changing some. But it's one of those decks that just has been good, you know? You know, people are just kind of realizing that, maybe. I actually have a creativity build, brew, whatever, that I'd like to play at some point. At first I saw this, I was like, oh no, they can stub me, but no, I just have a mana to pay. Can play some Jund creativity with Lily. I have a green-red Seismic Assault creativity deck with that's kind of inspired by Jarvis's old list, with 4 Farseek in the main, so you can get your Surveil land. I'm also playing 2 Through the Breach. I feel like in this more ramp heavy build, like, just Through the Breach Archon is kind of, have that extra top end is pretty important. And it was doing okay last night in my testing. Got a lot of testing done last night. Yeah, I meant to message you about it, Jarvis. I guess you're here now. I'm not gonna find it. Yeah, this is, I have like 3 or 4 decks prepped at the moment, which is pretty nice. Sometimes, a lot of times when it's like this, I'll have a deck like this that did pretty well off stream and is pretty sick, and then when it rains, it pours, and I'm like 8-0 with Mono Black. Need to keep playing Mono Black today. I was kind of unsure about, like, the Bolt Flame Slash split. Also, very rough draft sideboard, but the main deck felt pretty good. I kind of wanted to do 3 Alome, 3 Red, and 6. We actually changed that at the moment. I missed the 3rd Loam, I think, when I was testing yesterday. Deck felt pretty good yesterday too. Okay. So to play their 2nd Scion. I'm in the Modern vacuum at the moment. I see. Only 24 lands. I mean, we're a 24 land deck, but we have 4 Farseek, 3 Loam, 3 Ren, and 6. I'm like pretty happy with this number, I think. Also, we have the like 4 Surveil lands. You can play 23. Yeah, I'd be closer to 23 than 24. I think I'll feel okay about 24. See about cutting the 3rd mountain. Kind of scared of Field of Ruins, I guess. Opponent's hand is Ragavan, Stubborn Denial, Mystery card. I think I'm actually down to just wait a turn on the field, on the Edict, so I can field them and then Thoughtseize. If I draw another land, I can field them again and then Edict. I guess I have to like Thoughtseize the stub maybe if they have another blue. Okay, take this, take that, and then leave the Grief back to block the Ragavan. It's kind of weird. I just want them to not have a blue mana if possible. That's going to be turn 1 pitching Grief on the draw if we see a ley line. Somewhat often, probably. If you have an Edict in your hand, you don't have to. Yeah, I have a black-red Surveil land and a Blood Crypt. It maybe should just be 2 black-red Surveil lands, but yeah, you can Hardcast Archon, and you do Hardcast Archon a little bit more often with 8 ramp spells. But like I mostly was liking this build because I just really wanted to be able to creativity on turn 3 as often as possible. Because against Domain Zoo, if you're on the play, like they just like if you ramp on turn 2, they play a creature, you creativity, the game's over. That dynamic felt pretty important to me. They tried to binding and they can't binding. Okay, just plays a Ragavan. Although I guess now the problem with this is. Yeah, I guess I'll just Edict, and then if they sack Ragavan, I'll attack. If they don't, I won't attack. Would love for them to, like, draw a Bolt. Or Tribal Flames. Tribal Flames, I guess, because they would just be their whole turn. I'm not dead after all. Technically ahead in the race at the moment. Opponent's hand is Stub, 2 mystery cards. A lot of cards like Leyline Binding can be stranded. I guess there's a good chance they have Binding. They like tapped a white mana and then like paused for a while. So if I field, I guess I can field freely. Since their domain will only be 2, so despite the fact that they'll have 3 mana after we field, they still can't Binding. They draw Bolt. What a red mana. Bolts me. Fuck. So now they just have 2-turn clock. So I can cast Push and Not Dead After All here, so that if I draw a land, I get a re-look at a Sheoldred's Edict off of my Castle Locthwain, which is probably good enough to do. Probably mess this game up by just not Edicting the Scion turn 2. Got a little too tricky with the fields. They did have Binding. So Ring, Edict, Liliana. Dead after all, no outs. Okay. Close one. Okay. Also, if they drew that Bolt off their draw step, like that was a game losing thing. If I just upkeeped, obviously we don't know if that was the draw or not. So I'm gonna bring in same sideboard plan I think against the Force of Negation build too. Just into minus the 4 Voidwalkers. Down the game. We're 3-0 against the Leyline Scion decks today. You know, losing one wouldn't be the end of the world. Bit of positive 4. I think they had it already. I think so too, but hard to say for sure. Don't bring Ashiok against the Zoo deck. They're going to attack it, and they're going to kill you with it. And they're going to kill you because you spent your turn 3 to play Ashiok, and they just attack it with their 5-power creature, and it's dead. No turn 1 play over there. Probably a kick Tourach kind of game. Where's the Stonecoil attack? I mean, Tourach is kind of like our Stonecoil. Should Scales play Stone Coil? I'm thinking, yeah, I think Scales with 4 Stone Coil in the main could like just quietly be goated. Do not love drawing 2 lands in a row. My opponent seems like they are waiting a turn so they can play a big creature with a Stubborn Denial up. Is that something we just need to run into? I think no. Because we have the Tourach that can like just get it out of their hand potentially. That being said, like I kind of want to be able to just go Edict into Tourach Sheoldred. Maybe it depends on like what creature it is. I mean, it's just such a telegraph. Oh, they tapped that source. So they're leaving up their binding, so they're just gonna get so punished. I wonder if they should have a blue-white triumph so they can leave a binding and stub. So now they're holding up binding, and I just get to kick Tourach. Poor Tourach. Protection from white. Tough because they want the triumphs to be black, yeah. Surge of Salvation. I guess it's still 2 for 1. Tough though. So maybe that's what they're holding up instead of the. Maybe, like they're not locked to have leyline binding anymore. What does Kicker do? It makes them discard 2 cards at random, but that was prevented by the Surge of Salvation. So they discarded 1 card of their choice instead of 2 cards at random. Okay, now Tourach has reclaimed his his 3 for 1. Let's go, dude. The tilted lines. They did discard 2 cards. Fuck. Doorkeeper throw? Fine, I guess. I only double bird with love, of course. Just a bit of banter. Does it have lifelink? No. I really don't like this alternate art, like the like detective file styling. To me, this is like the worst looking alternate art cards I've ever seen. I think they look so bad. But as of course, art is very subjective. They bolt Grief instead of bolting Tourach. And they dash a Ragavan. They find a Fatal Push, so pretty good. Goodbye, Tourach. They use a treasure token instead of the Triumph. Another little punt. Comic Innovations are though, because they're impossible to read. Yeah, those are maybe worse. They've kind of grown on me a little bit. I'm going to be honest, over the years. Like the sketch style from H2. I do like the sketch style. I actually have a lot of those. I know they aren't the most popular. Keeps a card on top over there. Kind of interesting, of course. Let's see what we draw. Another Liliana of the Veil. I think I'm gonna just Edict. I'm kind of scared to play my Urborg because it makes their Ragavan way better. But they kept a card on top, so either it's like an interactive spell. I guess they do have the other card in their hand still, but it's an interactive spell and they like dash at this Liliana and then play, or it's like a creature and then maybe they still dash at Liliana and then play their 2-drop and we get to just second Edict. If we draw a land, we get to go Liliana plus Sheoldred, which would be kind of awesome. They do ignore Lily. Disrespectful. They just flip a land. It's good news for me. So what did they keep on top? A binding. Okay, binding Liliana instead of just attacking with Ragavan. Not the worst, I guess. or maybe this was just the mystery card. Either way, Gigantha is in the hand now. Land would be a good draw. Spells would be a good draw. Thoughtseize, yeah. Thank you, Tribal Flames. Has Ragavan mystery card at the moment. I'm gonna Edict Liliana instead of plus instead of Sheoldred's Edict plus. Gab, thanks for the raid. We're playing Black No Coffers today with 4 Lilianas due to all like the Leyline Scions, and we are 8-0 on the day. I have not lost a match, although we are down a game here against our 4th Leyline Scion gamer of the day. Thanks, Gab, for the raid. Hope you're doing well. Good luck at Seattle, too. It's coming up. Okay, going to game 3. On the draw for game 3. Is that the best deck in the format, Leyline Scion? I think the format is just changing a lot, and it feels very dynamic at the moment. And I'm in with the 49 months. Thank you, Gab. 2 free for the yellow hat. I'd say like the top decks in the format are Leyline Zoo, Yawgmoth, Titan probably with like the top 3. I don't know if Titan players are back to discarding their deck as unplayable or not. Probably not. Yeah, creativity is kind of making a little bit of a comeback, which is cool. It's kind of going to be interesting to see how that shapes up. Tron is making a comeback. Coffers and non-coffers are, I think, seeing an uptick. It's just things are changing a lot, so it's kind of hard to like really say one thing or another. But at least in the leagues, Leyline Scion has been very popular, very very popular. What matchups is third Tourach for? 4-color, blue-white, bringing in its Titan and Trellin too. Just kind of good to have in the matchups where you want to like cut all of your cheap removal. Yeah, Merfolk is making an uptick. Okay, opponent kept 7 on the play. Has a turn 1 Ragavan, which will be fatally pushed. Yeah, I saw the Murktide Scion mashup. It looks kind of interesting. I don't know. I kind of feel like Murktide is the worst looking card in the deck, but it is kind of cool that even without Leyline, it gets hexproof from Scion. But potentially saying the banlist update was good for modern. I think it was, yeah. Also, just like people like just like want to like they just want to have everything figured out immediately, and they also want to like just dunk on Wizards no matter what happens. Like the amount of like memes about they banned the wrong card, Fury banned, like just Rakdos is still like a top deck, and like but now Rakdos is like just like not a super good deck at the moment, very infrequent. I think like the ban like super accomplished like what they should have been going for with that ban. Okay, the Scion. I guess they can get a Triumph and cast it. Of course, we could just Edict it. I'm gonna get their monkey out of here. I'm been pretty happy with the last 3 bans. I know not everybody agrees, but I've been pretty happy with Bean ban, Fury ban, Violent Outburst ban. I think gameplay gets a lot better post Outburst. Was it worth waiting until combat to push to play around second Ragavan? So the problem with that is they can have stubborn denial, and then like you just kind of fall too far behind. We have Sheoldred's Edict for second Ragavan too. But usually against it's also the like if they're playing a deck with like scam cards, then you want to push main phase too, or main phase also. Although there are some times I guess where you're like kind of happy, okay, if they scam the Ragavan. Okay, so my opponent's hand is Lightning Bolt, Overgrown Tomb, 2 mystery cards. One of those mystery cards is this Windswept Heath. Then a Gigantha's coming to hand. Well, seeming very likely that this ring resolves. I'll be so sad if it doesn't. I'll top the ring main phase because if the one mystery card is binding, then at the very least we make them use the treasure. Would Hymn to Tourach be too good for modern? Yeah, I think so. Hymn to Tourach is also like a super unfun card that just ends a lot of games on turn 2. I'm pretty anti Hymn to Tourach in modern. It's like super fucked up, a horribly designed card in my opinion. Very fun to cast. I love to cast him, but it would be big modern staple. It would be super good. And it's also just one of these like old school cards. It's just very repetitive. Not one that I think makes games of Magic noticeably better. But people like it because it's iconic and very fun to cast. Caleron with the 17 months. Thank you. Welcome back. But Retrofitter Foundry? Foundry could be okay. I don't know. I will say that people kept hyping up Retrofitter Foundry in Timeless and playing with and against it a little bit. I don't think it's like a playable card in Timeless. So, with no Urza Sagas. Little Debbie Man, 3 months. Thank you. Welcome back. They have a Tribal Flames. I was really hoping to draw a land for my Not Dead After All to play around this, but still feeling pretty ahead despite taking 5 damage from their Gigantha here. Is 4 mana Urza in Timeless? I don't think so. Maybe it's just missing like cards, right? But at the very least, I just don't think it's a good Timeless card. Moment's Peace reprint. Moment's Peace would be sick. It'd be fine too. So I'm down to 12. Let's draw 3 more cards. Wow, no lands in like 6 or 7 cards. Reprieve? I'd love for them to reprieve this. Okay, perfect. I do have plenty of cards to pitch to Grieve. They lightning bolt me in response. Makes sense. Okay. So let's get a 4/3 into play. Edict their Gigantha. Not dead to Tribal Flames. Close to being dead to Tribal Flames, but I can cling to dust. I guess I don't even need to cling to dust, but I can cling to dust also. Goodbye, Gigantha. Well, no lands we can't possibly lose. Okay. I'm just commentating on this game of Magic. They played the Wood of Photos we didn't know about. Fair. It's very fair, though. No lands, please. Drew a land. Pretty trophy with this deck. We're actually about to be 9-0 on the day with this list. It's not the Violent Outburst band that makes Liliana good. It's just like half the decks in the format are playing Leyline Scion, and Liliana is pretty good against that. Time to audible for Prague? Hell yeah. We did also play against Necrotic Ooze combo for one of these matches, but we did lose a game, and the deck looks sick. Okay, trophy prediction already live. Would be like pretty hyped to back-to-back trophy here. Look at made their mulligan decision. It's been 2.5 minutes. Okay, they keep their 7. Okay, so I'm gonna put this over. I'm gonna mulligan my opening hand, which is this. She's not actually the worst against Kahira, to be honest, but I'm going to go to 6. Sorry for the hand hider gamers, but it's just too sus. It's just too sus. I really want the 5-0. Or the second 5-0. Yeah, it was 2-minute pregame pause, and then when they joined, it was like an extra minute to like keep their hand when my hand wasn't on the screen. Yeah, obviously, I'm not declaring guilt or anything, but I will say I will say I get a lot more like 1-2 minute pauses before the match begins than I used to. Is all I'm saying. Don't think it's that sus. Yeah, it's okay. Again, I'm not declaring guilt, but I want the integrity of the game to be maintained a little bit here. It's just the likelihood of sniping, you can agree, goes up a ton when it takes my opponent like when it's like 2 minutes pause for a minute on their opening hand, because my hand isn't up on the potentially because my hand isn't up on the screen. It fits the narrative at least. If my blue-white opponent wants to take 5 minutes in the first 2 turns for my 10-0 match, I'll take that. If I wasn't playing for like the 10-0 with Liliana of the Veil, I wouldn't care. But it's like, I want it, brother. I really want it. This also happens sometimes too. Not this is what's happening, but like this also still fits the ghosting narrative, right? Where like you tune in, you hear me talking about how sus your plays are, so you just artificially like tank for a minute or two on everything, so that so that it looks like, oh, they're not ghosting, they're just taking a minute or two after all. That might be what's happening. Maybe they are just blue-white control player who takes 2 minutes on every decision. But this also doesn't unsus them, is all I'm saying. But again, could be completely innocent. Who knows? Likely completely innocent. Wander Knight, but let's just be cautious. Likely they're doing nothing wrong. Likely they're just at work. Wander with the 9 months. Thank you. Welcome back. I thought every modern deck should play Leyline Scion. How can you be 4 without it? Yeah, good question. Yeah, usually I'm very weak to super slow play. This is true, but I gain a resistance. I gain a resistance to slow play when I'm playing for the 10-0 against blue white. They can take as much time as they want. Why do that? What do they care if they know you're sniping or not? Yeah, I don't know. So it just happens. They're starting to pay costs. Probably Lauren revealed. Scolding! The 2-minute stern scolding. What the fuck? Literally? What the fuck, dude? Tank for a minute on the Teferi. We are literally up 6 minutes? 5 minutes at least? 5.5 minutes. Take all your time. Take all the time you need, opponent. I think I want to do this first. Could play around Solitude a little bit more. Okay, they just F6, Keck W. Okay, Sunken Planeswalker. What is happening? Use 7 minutes. It's turn 4. They've used 7 minutes. Their hand is Supreme Verdict, this archive, 2 mystery cards. Kept a card on top. They also didn't Kihira in hand. My opponent says, I need to stop playing so freaking fast. I forgot about Kihira. I'm not going to respond to this. Dalton with the 58. Love you, buddy. Hey, Spike. It's me, your opponent. I want to let you know that I'm definitely not stream sniping. I play slow because I use Alexa chat to command and play the cards. Also, blue-white is one of the harder decks to play, especially when you don't know what's supposed to hand. So please stop accusing me of cheating. I apologize to you, opponent. Yeah, opponent literally just trolling. What a shit show. But it keeps the card on top. Yeah, you usually get tilted by slow play, but not when I'm up against blue I control. Like another card on top. 4 surveillance is cool. And a verdict. Solitude. So the hand is verdict, mystery card. I'm taking 3. Down to 17. I cast the 1 ring. And they have a counterspell. Wait, when did their other verdict get into the graveyard? Or they surveilled the verdict into the yard? Thankfully, I had the 2 ring. Ha ha ha. More like the 2 ring. Ha 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 ha. You thought he's the one that cast the other? No, I thought he's the Solitude, didn't I? Yeah, I thought he's Solitude. It's in exile. Oh, but I thought he's it again. Right. Maybe I shouldn't have a hand hider up, huh? Forget what's going on. I really need to stop playing like this. Look at my hand. Opponent literally just trolling. I just have a Sheoldred's Edict left. I'm not pulling this hand hider up for games 2 and 3, by the way. I'm gonna keep it right here. Pretty good top deck. Wait, didn't y'all ring into verdict? Okay. But did you ring into pending? I was gonna be fuming. Too many options here. Unfortunately, I think I just need to cling to dust creature this turn. Okay. Now I'm not clinging a creature, I guess. Dude, their graveyard is on my other monitor. I couldn't find it earlier. How'd that get there? Okay, your turn. What a weird game. Bounces the ring back to their hand. Four cards. If they're not playing Binding, the Liliana maybe just like is super cooking against them. Can't believe this game isn't won. Yeah, yeah. Although we may be, you know, winning the war and not the battle here, as my opponent has to discarded Omnath. Oh, I guess they just can't cast Omnath because I feel that they're one of Jeskai Triumph. But like my opponent has to win this game and another one, and they're gonna have to do it without looking at my hand too. Yeah, it seems like they're likely kind of low on win cons. We'll see what happens. Channel Takenuma. So I'm gonna grab Lily. I'm just gonna cling to this turn. Now my graveyard doesn't really matter because I've used my Takenuma. They already play their hall. No, I don't. I haven't seen a hall. I guess I'll save this field for a hall though. Yeah, Citadel's pretty sick with the channel lands. My Urborg was so bad this game. Not gonna go after the Minamo, I think. Okay, sack a Planeswalker. Discard a card with your 8 cards in hand. 14 cards left in their deck, though. I think they're gonna cast a Solitude here. I'm also pretty excited we have 3 Tourachs on the sideboard at the moment. Second Omnath gone. Well, I mean, any number of Omnaths just don't matter since they can't. I just think they can't cast Omnath. They should probably board out Omnath against me, because if I just field their Jeskai Triumph, it seems that they cannot cast Omnath. Can I play with the ring a little bit? I guess they just have a binding. Maybe we don't give tips to the opponents that's clearly sniping. Right. Right. It really sucks that they're just like capable of playing this fast, and because they like spent like 8 minutes pretending like they're just a slow player and ghost and like that they weren't ghosting, that they uh put themselves into like such a tough situation. Salmon with the 19 months. Thank you. Welcome back. They make any suspicious plays? Well, they more or less just admitted it in the chat. I feel, to be quite frank. I feel like what's in the chat right now is them just responding to what I've been saying on stream. Define a less solitude. Oh, binding. If their last Solitude's like one of their last cards, they just lose, actually. Yeah, I think they have one Solitude left as a win con, and just kind of depending on where it is in the deck. Probably not going to tap this ring. Yeah, this is still game one. Yeah, Torch Existence, it's not Modern Legals. This is kind of like my MH3 wish list hand hider. Oh, they found it. Okay, opponent, you got 9 minutes to win game 2. You probably can't win game 3 also. Hand hider staying up. Not sure if I'm bringing in... We play one Ashiok. Seems like they're pretty light on win cons if I just field their Jeskai Triumph. I'm just keeping the Edicts, actually. No, I didn't have enough cards to cling another creature. Even after Demo Field? Yeah, even after Demo Field. I had like 3. I need 2 or 3 more cards, not just 1. I don't know. I guess I could hide the sideboard plan. It's okay though. I feel like I'm chilling with, you know, this sideboard plan. The Lilianas. My opponent on being on 10 minutes. You had 4 cards total, so yeah, field. We need 6 cards total in your yard, if including Nickling. It's escape 5. How's Ashiok been? We boarded it against Goryo's today. It's mostly just an anti-Titan sideboard card. I guess I also boarded it in against the Necrotic Ooze combo gamer. Your hand hider's too small, their bottom cover cards. You can't really see what the card is, though. Is it too crazy to sideboard Urborg? I think I kind of just want to cut the Urborg again. I don't know. It was really good one game, and it's been really bad in like 2 or 3 games. So I don't know how I lost Magic Online. Okay, there we go. On the play for game 2. I click the keep button. Let's look at their hand. Counterspell, pending, Teferi, ring. Take the pending. Keeps the card on the top. Plays basic island. I cast Thoughtseize. They'll cast Counterspell. They evoke Grief, but Sheoldred. I guess, oh, they have 2 Teferis. Okay, I have to take Teferi. Because if I take a ring and they just bounce it back to their hand with the other Teferi. I mean, I was always taking Teferi, though. Trying to draw a land. Did not draw a land. Awkward. 25 lands, by the way. They still don't hit land number 4. I still don't hit land number 3. Binding the Teferi, so another binding will be potentially problematic. This card's a Supreme Verdict. Pending. So I get to resolve my ring first. They can't binding their binding, but they can Teferi bounce the binding at some point, maybe. I guess they only have like 1 or 2 Teferis left. Make their bindings cost a little bit more. 4 mana more, to be exact. They Solitude my Voidwalker. The 2 ring. Okay, quite the hand. Keeps the card on top, so we'll field now. So they found binding number 3. They also find a Solitude for my grief. Yep, pitching a Verdict. Is this their last ring? No, they should have 2 more, which is a lot more, huh? My draws off my ring were pretty bad. I have been both mana screwed and mana flooded this game, which feels... You see there's only 1 swamp left in my deck there. Take 5, draw a card. Not the worst card. Take 4, down to 4. Finds the 3 ring. Puts a card on top. Discards a bunch. Fielding here because they have this card on top, so I'm going to just force the shuffle, despite me not actually having another basic to get. Upkeep. The 4th binding for 4 mana. Opponent, you take 1, you're down to 3. Plays a Manamo. Plays their last ring at 3 life. So this is safe for me to play my 3rd ring. That are all, I guess I'm looking for my other rings. I guess they're just all under the bindings. Okay, your turn. So they can't binding my ring anymore. They can't pending it either. Nordic with the 3 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. See how many more basics they have. I'm out of basics, but yeah, it looks like they are too. Kind of unreal draws. I have just had 6 lands in my hand. Maybe I should be saying this against my ghosting opponent or whatever, but just so y'all know. I do have a spell. I have a spell. And I got the ring, you know, that they can't really deal with, so that's good. I know about Dovin's veto, so I'm leading here probably. So I'm gonna name Teferi. Time Raveler. I think I'll go ahead and also just trade this for the veto. I have the ring in play. Let's just trade some resources. Go for him. What a wild match, also. Turns out I did have some more gas in the tank, huh? My opponent, you got an answer to my Dauthi Voidwalker. You're at 3 life. Just have to draw 10 cards with my ring to get back in this game. Still have more cards in my library than they do. This was the one spell I had back when I said I only had one spell. Okay, so I take 4 damage. Who cares? Draw another land. Draw 5 more cards, down to 11 cards in my library. Tech edge them. Tech edge them. Tech edge them. Let's play around another Stern Scolding. As I evoke my grief. Played around the Stern Scolding, brother. On turn 17. What a... I feel good about that one. I feel pretty good about that play. See, opponent, it's not that hard. You just think, you don't have to ghost me. You can just think about what's in my deck. You can think about it with your brain and then think about how you might play against those cards. And it's like, it's fun. You know, it's like just a good time. Okay, opponent's got 3 minutes, 30 seconds on their clock for game 3. Let's see if I want to re-sideboard it all. F6 no stops. Yeah, I mean, listen, if they can beat me with 3 minutes 30 seconds, that absolves them of their stream sniping. Listen, I'm usually not this cavalier with the accusing either, but my opponent's just like straight up responding to what I say in chat. They're just straight up responding to what I'm saying, and so it's like it's whatever. At this point, I don't feel like there's almost any doubt. I don't know opponent sniping. So there's like a 2-minute pause at the beginning. And then I moved my deck over to the other monitor because of the pause. And then they showed up, and it's like a 1.5-minute pause. And then I'm talking about how slow they're playing. They continue to play slow. I comment on how slow they're playing, and how they could very easily just be acting. And then at this point they just start responding in the chat a little bit to what I'm saying. They said I need to stop playing so freaking fast. I forgot about Kihira. I need to stop playing like this. You know, just responding to me. And then also they start playing at like lightning speed. You know what I mean? Start playing at warp speed. I haven't felt this confident someone's ghosting in a long time. I really don't like to, you know, j'accuse. But honestly, like, I'm actually at this point very thankful and happy that they were ghosting, because they wasted like 6 or 7 minutes in game 1. And now they have 3 minutes and 30 seconds on their clock for game 3. So thank you, opponent. We love you. We're about to Tinno. I must have that wallpaper as a Soul's Hammer. Yeah, I posted this a long time ago on X. You'll have to find. I just said X on Twitter. You can find it. My opponent's now taking the full allotted time for the sideboarding, of course. I've been typing, when I search for Twitter on my phone, I type X too. Okay, I'll keep 3 minutes, 24 seconds. Good luck, opponent. Yeah, they're using all their type of sideboard, you know. It is what it is. I think the counter spell. Any secret talkies? I mean, the biggest thing you can do to play faster on Magic Online is to just think about what your opponent's going to do on their turn, what you might do in response to what they do. And just think about your plays ahead of time. That matters way more than like I think playing fast on Magic Online. You'll get the hang of it. Make them take the English. Well, I'm fielding their Rogran Triumph all the time because if they still have Omnath in their deck, and it did look like they boarded out Omnath for game 2, then they're just gonna have such a hard time. I would like it would be so funny to lose this game. Also, I wouldn't even be mad. I would try not to be mad though. Omnath was their last game. Was it? I don't remember it being their last game. I guess so. It went to the yard from discard. Okay. So maybe they trimmed one then? Remember, you can sacrifice Voidwalker even if there isn't a card for you to take. I think we're just also just going to win this. We would just win this game normally, probably. They have one card in their hand. We have a Tourach in play. This card, Omnath, although that card was dead, unfortunately. It bounces my Voidwalker. Yeah, unfortunately, we are going to win this game fairly, huh? I guess, you know, let's say fortunate. It is so funny how fast my opponent's playing, too. Let's not attack. Okay, maybe we will have a clock victory after all. Bold up for attack. It's just so bad against removal, against double lifelink, even without clock considerations. The last card is just a Kihira. They have 1 minute and 7 seconds to reduce my life total from 18 to 0. Good luck to them. Thank you, opponent, for ghosting. We love you. You hadn't wasted those 6 or 7 minutes at the beginning. You had a very good chance. Very likely would win this match. We'll see if this ring resolves, I guess. Yeah, I could take the hand off at this point. Yeah, with Binding costing 3 mana, I'm not going to just tap the ring right now. they didn't ghost, maybe they wouldn't have won game one. I don't know, maybe. But I mean, I had the hand hider up the whole time, but they can also like listen to what I'm saying and get some information. Back-to-back trophies, baby. They can't cast their Omnath this game. You know, they like have like 3 Solitudes left in their deck to win the game. We won a game 2 very similar to this, even though we're very unlikely to win. Not 0%. It's kind of unbelievable how fast they're playing too. Like almost no Magic Online player is like even capable of playing this fast, I feel. Wow, actually resolved the scolding. Okay. Back-to-back trophies with 4 Lilianas. Let's go, dude. Oh, sorry, I could have not dead after all the Tourach. I don't know. I mean, I was just kind of like that was the winning line. I was just kind of like the game's over, you know what I mean? They had no chance to win. Look at my hand. Okay, shout out to our opponent. Thank you for ghosting. We won probably because you were. Which rules. I would love to do another league, but again, my eye just has been bothering me all week.